Fashion and architecture. Although architecture and fashion seems to be independent of one another, architecture deals with the constructed environment while fashion is the motivating factor behind the dressmaking business. It has been discovered that fashion is a robust way of expressing one's culture and identity. Fashion is transient, unlike architecture which is permanent. Hi, I am Rajesh Mondal, student of Masters of Fashion Technology. My topic is design and form. How does they accompany fashion and architecture? Both architecture and fashion have in common the concept of design theory. Individuals refer to design as a problem resolving process. According to Gary, even in fashion, problems with the clothing are caused by the designer which need to have a resolved aesthetics. Design problems would always be a continuous process in both architecture and fashion and means in creating a solution in the basic concept of design theory. Both architecture and fashion have in common the idea of form, which acts as the foundation for both fields. Therefore, without form there would not be fashion or architecture in this first place. Form defines fashion and architecture, thus creating an identity for individual in both professions. As a result, one of the new material which have found its way of fashion catalogs and architecture is the media facade. This facade is produced with small LED lights and can photograph anything the designer wants. In architecture, the LED light when applied to the building facade reflects natural light during the day and during the night it gives different color scheme with the aid of computer program. An example can be seen in the work of Hussein Chalayan design garment which was made of LED. Paco Rabanne, a fashion designer, created a dress out of metal sheets. His design was influenced by the metal covering used in building by architects. His concept for the dress was for the metal to act as a covering on the human body. Frank Gehry is one of the architects still exploring with metal covering in buildings, such as the use of metal as a building material and fashion gives a gimmick form. An example could be seen in the Lucky Order's evident design in 1992, where the raincoat could be converted into a tent while the raincoat is attached to the figure. It also forms a three-dimensional extension of the figure and changes the image of the body's form and surface. Lucky is one of the many artists who are trying to eliminate the boundaries between architecture and fashion. The Ginza building by Toyo Ito. The style of the building and the openings in the building inspired and influenced the petal dress appearance of the clothing as seen. The pattern of the holes in the building facade allows light into the building, whereas in the dress the patterns create opening that allows some part of the skin to be seen and some other hidden. The style of the building reflects the architect's concept of using a facade that acts as the first skin which protects the structural frame of the building, at the same time allowing the user of the space to have little glimpse of the surrounding. Although fashion designers frequently get inspiration from a specific building, they sometimes make references to particular architects. However, in architecture, the most frequent references of fashion made by architects is through the method of reinventing the potential of textile in the construction of structures, thereby testing and the ability of old-fashioned architectural building materials. The Guggenheim Museum. The museum was influenced by postmodernism, whereby the design was centered on the usability rather than functionalism. This museum, built by Wright, is in New York. It was constructed in the year 1956 to 1959, but remodeled in 2006 to 2008. This museum is a work of art even though it is a gallery meant for a appreciation of modern arts. From the building shapes, form and structure, it is obvious that the style of the building has a bit of fashion. Therefore, it is safe to assume that this designer was inspired from Wright's Guggenheim Museum. Jaha Muhammad Hadid is a world-renowned architect and a fashion designer. Jaha's shoe designed for Melissa as seen which can be seen as the muse for the building. The very precious lines, transverse sloping straps and opening of the shoes influence the facade design of the structure. Thus, the cutout of the shoes act as the window opening of the structure which allows light to enter the building. The straps of the shoes divided the glass surface, thereby acting as non-structural elements which does not reveal the whole space to the public but allows the user and viewer to experience the space themselves. The fluid nature of the shoe is visible in the building form and space created by the form. This shows that design and form in fashion as well as architecture tend to inspire one another in ways that are visible to the public and users. Conclusion: certain elements and details in both architecture and fashion tend to become the useful idea and inspiration behind the fashion designers, clothing and accessories and the architect's building design. Although both architecture and fashion are structured, visual and art in appearance, they are also three-dimensional in the form and space, which change the entire shape of the design and also acts as the foundation for both architecture and most fashion design objects. Thank you.